What I'm doing here today is replacing the struts on a 2012 Escape. This is very similar from the 01 through 2012. What first thing you're going to want to do is put the e-brake on. If you don't have the assistance of power tools, you'll have to break loose the tightness of the lugs. Then jack your vehicle up, put it on some jack stands, and block your rear wheels, and then knock the center cap out because we're going to be loosening the axle nut. Okay, if you don't have the assistance of air tools, you'll need to knock your center cap out here. Just go and push it out, and then reinstall your wheel, put it on the ground, and then loosen your axle nut, and then you'll have to jack the vehicle up again and remove your tire. Helps if you take some penetrating oil and spray it on your fasteners and on each side of the steering knuckle there, and your stab link up here, and there is a 10mm bolt that holds your ABS on. You want to do that as well. Okay, your ABS is held on by a bracket here. It's a 10mm. We'll just take that off. Okay, with that off, next what we have to do is grab a pliers and take this clip off here for your brake hose. And we simply pull the brake hose down and then out of the holder there. Okay, the axle nut on this one is 32mm. I'm going to go and loosen that up so it doesn't put any strain on the axle while the knuckle is there. If you don't have air tools, you would have needed to have done that when the vehicle was on the ground. Okay, these happen to be aftermarket stab links here. If you do have the genuine Ford one, I believe there is a Allen key or something you have to put in there to keep it from spinning. These aftermarket ones, I have a 18mm on the back and a 15mm nut here. I'll just go ahead and zip that off. Next, what we'll do is loosen all these up here on the top. They're 14mm. Okay, it's an 18mm on each end on the steering knuckle here. We'll go ahead and remove those nuts. Okay, now we'll take and tap those bolts out. And we may have to take some of the pressure off of the bottom there. And these should pop right out of there. Okay, I'm going to just make sure that the axle shaft is free there, and then I'll just pull the knuckle down, push our strut back, and then we can slide it out from up on top. We'll have to take our little stab link out of there. Okay, I want to put a little jack underneath the steering knuckle there. Make sure there's no pressure on this hose, and then this will keep this from falling over. Okay, so there is a left and a right for the vehicle, and you want to make sure that you match them up correctly. and on the very top it'll say out, and you want to ensure that that bearing surface there is on the outside like that. Okay, you want to look on the very top of your bearing here and make sure that they're facing the same direction. So I want to put that up there and put our 4 nuts on the top to hold it. Okay, you want to put your stab link in there. You may have to go ahead and jack your steering up, and then we'll go ahead, line this up, and then put our bolts in there. Okay, we'll put our nut on our stab link there, and have to move your steering knuckle around a little bit, and then put a jack underneath your steering knuckle and jack it up until these bolt holes line up. Okay, you have to jack the steering knuckle up and down a little bit. And we'll go ahead and put these 2 nuts on here. We're going to torque those to 85 foot-pounds. Next we'll put our axle nut on. If you don't have the assistance air tools, you'll have to just tighten it up as far as you can and then put it on the ground. And after the wheel is on, you have to put the final torque on that. Okay, this happens to be an aftermarket stab link, but if you have the genuine Ford one, you'll need to, I believe, put an Allen key in here and tighten that down, keep it from spinning. The torque spec on that, if it's a Ford one, I believe is 45 or 46 foot-pounds. We'll take our brake line, pull it down, and it'll slide up in there. We'll put our clip on there. The little bent part goes up, and we'll slide it in that little slot, and then take a hammer and tap it on. Okay, we'll take our ABS line here, and there's a little notch on the top there that this fits in, and then we'll put our bolt through there, tighten that down. You got a little dirt or grease on your rotor there. You want to take some brake clean and spray that off. Might want to wear some eye protection. I'll go and I'll put the wheel on. If you did take the center cap out to torque your axle nut there, that is 214 foot-pounds or 290 newton meters. I don't have a torque wrench that goes up that high, so I just tightened it as tight as I could with the impact. And I'll go ahead and I'll put the tire on. I'll start the lugs by hand, and then I'll run them down, take it off the jack and jack stands, and then we'll go and torque the top of the struts bolts here to 35 foot-pounds. Okay, I got the jack out, it's on the ground. I'll go ahead and torque these to 35 foot-pounds here. Okay, we'll go ahead, tighten our lugs here to 100 foot-pounds. I'll unblock the rear wheels and I'll take the parking brake off and we can take it for a test drive. You may want to have your alignment checked if your ball joints are in good shape. Otherwise, you're all done.